Alright, so I'm going to be doing an oil change on my 05 TSX. It's a pretty simple job that you can do at home. All you need is a 17 for the drain plug oil. These take 5W30. So you need a funnel for the oil. I was going to get a special one, but you know, it's whatever. Any funnel works. And then you need pressure washers. And it's just this oil drain plug, and they are 14 millimeters. I don't know where it says that they're 14 millimeters, but these are M14 right there. So these are 14 millimeters. And of course your filter, which you're going to change as well. Quick and easy job that I think anybody can do. There are some special deals that will make it a bit easier for you to get like a $20 oil change. But I don't trust Les Schwab and places like that. I've been fucked over, to say the least, a couple times. Sorry, I'm opening the hood right now. So yeah, as you guys can see, my engine is well off for how many miles it has. This, for some reason, is tight right now, so I'm going to figure that out really quick, and then I'll get back to this. But anyway, I normally take it off from here just so that's there first, then I can go under the car, take off the drain plug. Anyway, this should be a 20-minute job that anybody can do with one simple hand tool and a funnel. So yeah. So underneath the car, you'll find yourself with this flap that is full of oil, because there's no clean way of doing this on a TSX, or any car really, because of how it's engineered and designed. So what I'm going to do is I never take off the bolt because it's pointless. You can just swivel it over and that'll do just fine. You'll find yourself a 17 millimeter with the pressure washer that I always replace no matter what. It's the cheapest thing and it'll stop from leaking. Okay, that's the most important thing. I always change it. Some people say, oh, until the next one, this and that, it's not that important, but you know, when your car leaks, that's when it's important. And the next thing you're going to want to find is your filter. Ooh, that's going to be tough to see. Let me try to get a little bit farther back. Your filter is right here, underneath, oh, well, not underneath, above the axle. You can kind of make out the little head. That also drips everywhere, so you want to drain as much oil as possible from the drain plug first. Get your 17. Untighten that, and then with your hand, because these always should be hand tightened and sometimes they're a little tight, so make sure you have not just driven the car. Let the car cool down, because this exhaust is going to burn your fucking hand, the axles, anything in the engine bay is basically going to just singe you. So yeah, I'm going to start by taking the plug off. The drain bolt is not that tight, and you will want to loosen it by hand to not get your tool dirty. Wearing gloves is, you know, normally important when you're doing this kind of job, because then things like this happen where you get your hand full of oil. And I knew it was gonna happen. As you guys can see, it really did need an oil change. This shit's black, well, dark brown and black. When I checked the drain plug, it was a little clearer than this, but I can tell that this needed one badly. So I'm gonna go brake clean my hands off real quick. I'll be back to you guys. Alright, so I washed my hands, put on gloves, because the next thing that you're going to want to do is take off your filter. While it did finish draining, a little bit of the oil did fall out because of my hand, and you're going to want to clean that off with a rag before you really install it. And of course, put on your new pressure washer, because although a lot of them are reusable, they're so cheap. Why wouldn't you do that to just stop the leakage of your car? So anyway, I told you where it was. But you're going to see very quickly why I say that this is not going to be a clean job, because no matter what you do, all of the oil is just going to splatter everywhere onto the subframe over there, and it's not going to be a fun time. So I'm going to remove this in so that I can get my hand up there, and as you can see, more oil still coming out. So yeah. Alright, so my hand's positioned a little weird, so I might not get that dirty this time. I might not, but the car, as you guys can see, definitely will get dirty. At least all of that plastic.
I mean, if you want to go through the trouble of taking off all that plastic, it's still gonna get dirty. I'm still taking it off, by the way. Still twisting. Alright, got the oil filter. Drain it in there. Most people like to leave it in there, so I put it on the corner of this so that it can finish draining. Normally I'm inside of the car. Right now I'm a little bit in front of the car, closer to the front axle. And there's a better reach up here for the filter than down under the car. So I'm gonna just take it off from here. See if I can get you guys a good view. But it is a little bit tight, so I might have to switch position so I can get a better grip of it. But I will try to show you guys it coming off, so I'll loosen it and then get back so I can show you guys that coming off. Alright, opened up the pack, got a new washer. This one fits perfectly flush, cleaned off the bolt. So yeah, this one sits flush, and I prefer this one over pretty much any of the other ones because it does sit perfectly flush around the middle and everything. So M14, perfect size. So before getting your ratchet out and putting the ratchet back in, yeah, I know that the filter just fell into the oil. Yeah, I know that sucks. You're gonna want to tighten this by hand, and always by hand, because if you do it with the ratchet, you run the risk of threading it. Then you're gonna get something that's called an oversized drain plug, and then you're gonna have a nightmare any other time you try and change your oil. So by hand first. If it doesn't go in right away, don't worry. It's supposed to go in smooth. And once you can't turn it by hand, then start wrenching away. Because if you wrench away beforehand, thread it, and then you'll be screwed. So yeah, now you're just gonna wipe this off with a rag a little bit, because you guys can see it's got a bunch of things. And if you don't want to get your tools dirty, that's fine. Get your rag, put the thing in, and you'll be set. So priming the oil filter is not a bad idea, but just know on this car in specific, it's very hard to do without making a mess. So after I clean that off and put the bolt back on, you do put the bolt back on before you put on the filter, because if you're going to put some oil around it and inside a little bit, you're going to want the oil pan to be closed off. Otherwise the oil that you put in the filter is going to be gone by the time so you know, it would be pointless to prime it basically. So I'm going to clean that off real quick and I'll be right back, put it back on, and yeah. Alright, so like I said, the next thing is priming up the new filter. So just get a dab of oil on your finger, rub it around the seal, and put a little bit on the inside. So I'm gonna do that right now. Alright, so as you guys can see, I got some oil right here, and rub it around the rubber seal just to get a perfect grip on that. And as you guys can see, I did get some in there, not a lot, because like I said, once you turn it, that's all gonna start spewing out of there, and then you're gonna make a mess and waste a bunch of oil. So I wouldn't fill it up all the way, because the oil will get there eventually, but it wouldn't be a bad idea to get some in there just to start. And remember, the filter goes first before you fill the oil. So let's get the filter back in there, and like we said, through this hole, and hand tight only. Never use any kind of tool on this unless you're trying to get revenge on somebody. Then use some Loctite, and then they'll be screwed for life. So yeah, filter's all hand tightened, and next thing you want to go, get your funnel. See, a shorter stubbier funnel would be nicer for that, and they do sell a specific one that twists on the top. That's pretty nice, that my brother has, which I do plan on getting, but you know, we'll get to that point eventually. For now, any funnel works. Get your oil, fill her up. You don't have two hands to record and to fill the oil, and then I'm just gonna make a mess. So I'll just get you guys when I'm almost done putting oil in it. And it does take 4.2 to 4.5 quarts, and the only thing you can do is just check your oil. Do remember, your car is lifted, so do not check your oil until it's back on the ground, because then it's not leveled and you won't get a good reading. So make sure you're on leveled ground when you read your oil. I filled it, and I have 0.5. The way you can check that is
right around there. It has these little markings on the can, or it should. Some of them are by quart. So yeah, you guys can see some full synthetic CC owner's manual, 5W30 on the cap. So use what it recommends. Some people use 5W20. I don't care what you use, just that's what it takes. So use what it takes, and you shouldn't have really any issues with that. Not that it's better or worse, but that is just my advice. Use what the factory recommends. They normally know what they're doing. So anyway, get your dipstick out, get out a napkin, something, and then dry that off, and go back. So basically take it out, dry it off, and then we'll read it together. Leave the rag there just so that you don't make a mess on your engine bay, but looks like we could use the half quart because we're not quite there yet. So sometimes it'll take the 5, sometimes it won't. And this time it definitely needs the 5 because it's looking a little dry and that it's missing half a quart. So we're gonna put that half quart that's left in the bottle. I did spill some oil, so that has something to do with it. So fill it up, check it again, and that's it for this video. Once it fills up to the second little dot line, you should be full on oil and you should be set. So that's it for this video. If you guys want me to do more stuff like this, I already did change brakes and stuff. That wasn't something you guys wanted to see. I did change them on the Element, however, and not on the TSX, so that probably has something to do with it. But yeah, that is it. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys next time.